What's going on, everybody? I'm Jupiter Love, host of Niggas and Flies podcast.
I thought you
No.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Jupiter Love, host of Niggas and Flies podcast.
And I'm Steady Beats, host of Indie Artist Plugin.
And I am Sun, your host of Energy Talks Radio Show and Believers Drop. We are Energy Talks Radio Show, and we are super excited to announce our Energy Talks Network. Are you guys excited?
Absolutely.
I'm excited, and the first person that's going up that we are livid about is
Sarafina Ethereal with what's the show?
Roots and Revenue.
We're talking about good wealth, good health, and people loving on each other. All about power, money, energy, and all those things. Thank you so much for enjoying us, you guys. Thank you so much for supporting you guys. Thank you so much for looking at these clowns, because I don't know what else to do without you guys.
Sprinkling, man.
Sprinkling love. You are now tuned in the Energy Talks Network with
Jupiter Love,
Steady Beats.
and your girl Son, Energy Pusher. You hit my head.
I'm a legend.
Peace, greetings and grand risings, beautiful people. This is Sarafina Ethereal, and I'd like to welcome you to the Roots and Revenue Show, where we're manifesting generational wealth and health and celebrating Black excellence and entrepreneurship. On today's episode, we're going to be bringing you an awesome interview with Lavette Minn, also known as the Brand Alchemist. So we're going to talk to her today about not only moving your business forward with things like business credit and legitimizing your business, but also just digging deep into the journey of Black entrepreneurship and what that means in 2021. So I'm so excited to be on the Energy Talks Network, and we have some amazing things in store for you. So be sure to follow us on all platforms. All right, you guys, we are back with Lavette Minn, the Brand Alchemist. Yay! I'm so excited to have her on. She is a wealth of knowledge. We're truly lucky to have her here at our show today. So before we get started with anything else, just tell us a little bit about your brand journey, Lavette, and how you became the Brand Alchemist and how we got to where we are today.
Well, first, thank you for having me back.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be here. Yes.
Okay.
So, but let's go back to when I was actually the family brand educator.
Yes.
The name of my company then was the Family Brand Movement. It was a family business that I started with my children, and we hosted workshops where we worked with youth between the ages of like 6 to 17, teaching them how to build businesses. That was a part of us, just helping to lift that consciousness in the community. And then it was one day I was actually meditating with Oya, Goddess Oya,
Yes.
the Orisha of the marketplace, right?
Yes.
And she said, baby, Family Brand Movement is not it. Because where you're looking to go, Family Brand Movement is not going to take you there. Gotcha. So I had the Family Brand Movement. I was operating in the business for about 3 years, so I was attached and it was hard for me to let go. Absolutely. But I kept meditating with her. And when she was giving the visions to me, it just made sense, right? Because I'm always screaming billionaire route. And I knew that with the Family Brand Movement, it had like a nonprofit energy around it. So I knew it wouldn't take me there. Gotcha. So long story short, I transmuted the Family Brand Movement into Blue Diamond Brand. So I didn't completely get rid of it. Yes. I just took it through that alchemical process where you kind of calcinate it, dissolve it, take what works, take what doesn't work. And then I use those elements to build up Blue Diamond Brand. So that's why I'm the Brand Alchemist. Yes. So in Blue Diamond Brands, my role as the Brand Alchemist is to help other business owners, specifically women business owners, to transmute their brands into diamond brands with brand development strategies, attraction marketing strategies, and of course, universal laws.
Love it.
So, yeah, so that's how.
Wow.
That's in a nutshell,
yes. What a pitch. Like, that's amazing. So, How long was this process? Like, when did you start the family brand movement?
I started the family brand movement March of 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of growth in a short period of time because we're here in 2021.
Right.
So,
and then Blue Diamond Brands was birthed 11/11/2020.
I love it. 2020 was transformational, wasn't it?
Yes,
it was so many things, but certainly a moving point, a shifting point for everyon, right?
Yeah,
Whether you wanted to or not.
Yeah.
That's interesting. My company, I started a company last year too. So, yeah, we'll talk more about that. You know all about it. Obviously. I know. One of the things that you do so well is encourage others, and I think I can speak for myself when I say just watching you do what you do inspires and reminds us of what we can do. So I'm in full gratitude always for that.
Thank you.
So with that being said, I want to jump into really quickly a few tips that our listeners and our viewers can use if they are starting their own businesses, or maybe if they're even doing business but they want to take some steps to first of all, legitimize their business. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about making your business legitimate. When you're out there, you're making money, what are I would say, top 2 or 3 things from you that you would say they need to be taken care of first as far as taking care of their business? What are the first 2 or 3 things they should do?
Definitely you want to be organized or either incorporated. And it's either LLC or INC, and it all depends on how you foresee your business growing in the future, right? So if you see yourself possibly becoming a public company where you're able to sell stocks and shares in your company and things like that, then, you may want to go like the C Corp route. Mm-hmm. So it all depends on what your future goal is. But just to start out, you definitely want to have an LLC, have your business license, any other licenses, depending on what industry or market that you're in. Mm-hmm. You want to have your EIN number, and you definitely want to start working on building your business credit. Okay. Take your business credit seriously.
Yes.
Because when you build a healthy credit profile, what you do is now you give yourself access to capital. And 33% of small businesses fail because of lack of capital. And that capital is so important. And that was something that I learned when I was operating under the family brand movement, because I was bootstrapping.
Yes.
But there's only so much bootstrapping you can do. You can't keep digging into your savings and
Come on.
So you have to really take that serious and build up that healthy business credit profile so you can build your way up to having access to $50,000, $100,000, even $1 million. Right. So, but in order for you to get to that stage, you really have to treat your business like a business and not a side hustle, not a hobby. Matter of fact, you have to treat your business like a corporation. Because in the United States of America, this is not a country. This is a corporation. And it's only corporations and everybody else.
That's it.
You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
So you have to seriously take your business serious and work on elevating it and evolving it into a corporation, really being the CEO of a corporation. Mm-hmm. So, just make sure all of your ducks are in a row, have your EIN, get your business organized or incorporated, have a business address, have your 1-800 number, be listed with 411. But
now,
really build that solid platform.
Absolutely. All those things are so important. And I just wanted to ask you, so for entrepreneurs who maybe don't know where to start, because I know that we can go to the IRS website to get an EIN for free, and you can go to something as simple as like maybe a LegalZoom or something like that to get your LLC, but is there a place where entrepreneurs can go and handle these things themselves? Or I guess what I'm trying to say is people get overwhelmed and they want to source those things out, but maybe they can't afford it. So is there somewhere that entrepreneurs or business owners can go or a place where all that information is available? What do you?
The best place would be the Secretary of State. Visit the Secretary of State website. If you can't afford it, then it's best that you do it yourself, because you're still going to have to pay for it, right? If you go through LegalZoom or other sources like InkFile, they're going to charge you 2 to 3 times because they have to make a profit. Absolutely. So, and just take it a step at a time. Mm-hmm. You can start off with organizing, then get your business license. EIN number is free,
really quick and easy.
So the best resources I would definitely say would be Secretary of State.
Okay. That's really important because, like I said, I just feel like that's one of the things for those of us who know, it seems really simple and straightforward, but I think sometimes business owners are, they tend to feel overwhelmed with that. You know what I mean?
It can be overwhelming.
Just where do I start and where do I go? So the Secretary of State website, I think, is a great starting point. Yeah, that's great. So just speaking on business credit a little bit more deeply, I heard you say that it's important for us to handle business credit and take it seriously. So what are some of the I would say strategies or tips that you would give for building business credit? Maybe 2 or 3 of those,
Okay, well, the first tip is, in addition to, like you said, legitimizing your business, the first tip would be to get your DUNS number with DUNS or DUNS. Oh, I don't know why I say DUNS, but I think it's Duns and Bradstreet. DMB. Sure. Yes, DMB.com.
There we go.
Right, get your DUNS number, activate your business profile, legitimize your business. Make sure you have all of your ducks in a row. You have to be listed with 411. You have to have an 800 number. You need a virtual business address. Just make sure you check all of those things off the list. And then you want to start applying for tier 1 credit with tier 1 vendors. Okay. So that would be gas cards or line of credits.
Yes.
Vendor accounts with places like Uline and Quill.
Yes.
And you want to just start off small. Make sure you pay your bill off and just keep building from there.
Cool.
So,
that's super valuable. Awesome. So just as we're kind of wrapping up this particular segment, I want to ask you, we were just talking about this before we started filming. Got a little something in my throat here. Let me get some water. Yeah. So, no, I wanted to ask you for yourself and your own practice. We were talking about the correlation between spirituality and business and how when you start to incorporate your spirituality with your business, which is something that we definitely want to talk more about on the Roots and Revenue Show, how things will move really quickly and how it's easy to get overwhelmed. So the first thing you said, which was being organized, even though you meant it legally, when you first said it, I was thinking about literally being organized, which is so important. But what other tips what other tips? What other tips would you give entrepreneurs or business owners, females especially, women especially, but all of us, when it comes to managing what we create, managing that growth that is coming if you put your mind to, you set your goals and you apply not only your prayers but your passion and you go towards them. Trust me, that thing is coming and it's coming fast. So what are your tips for managing that energy?
I would definitely say strategically plan for it, right? So if you're calling in, let's just say you're calling on $1 million business, right? Then you have to actually plan for that. You have to make sure that you have the staff, you have the right people on the board. You have to make sure that you take care of yourself as well, doing the work, setting that time aside for your mental work, for your self-care, for your meditations, so that you can continue to fuel the energy behind bringing in that $1 million business. So you just really, instead of focusing on the money, you have to focus on really the elements in the organization of how you're going to handle and operate that business at that capacity.
Absolutely.
So,
what that looks like. Yes. Great. Well, that I think that we've gained so much from this little short segment. I feel like it's a little nugget, but there were so many jewels there, you guys. So, I would suggest maybe going back and just watching this one more time because Lavette just gave you a nice chunk of the game right there, all for free. But we'll be back in just a moment with more with Lavette Minn. Thank you so much. once again with Lavette Minn, the Brand Alchemist. And I just want to talk to you about some of the things that you offer. I know with my own business, the Bank of the Ether, you were instrumental not only in the formation and me getting started, but then also in guiding and leading me into just some awesome thought processes that push me forward and propel me forward, and still are propelling me forward. So I just want to share with the people some of the things that you offer. So, for example, the first thing the first service I ever got from you was a brand audit.
Yes.
So just tell us a little bit more about your brand audits and what a person could expect from that.
Okay. So with the brand audits, what I typically do is I look into your business, look into your brand, playing Inspector Gadget. You know, I look at your website, I look at your social media pages, and I just get a feel for how you're currently operating. And then I provide you, because now they're brand audit reports. So now I provide you with a written report to help you kind of strategically shift and transition and make some changes in your brand that will help you to increase your leads, your sales, and your thought processes that will lead to more sales and leads. So that's with the brand audit.
Cool. All right. The brand audit, when I think about it as a starting point, it was awesome for me. And then my favorite thing about it from the consumer standpoint was that I can still use it. I mean, even now, I can still go back. I still haven't exhausted everything she suggested that I do. So, I just have, it's like just so much value for the price. I just feel like, it was just invaluable. So the next thing I got after that was a development session.
The brand development
session. And we got to really dig in. And so I think with that, you take it a step further than the report. And so just tell us a little bit about how that process goes for you and for your customers.
So basically with the brand development session, I literally help you to build your brand from the ground up. Even if you already have a brand and you're established, I still tear it down. We tear it down together.
Right.
And we start building it from the ground up. So that's primarily what it is. Right. We go over things like your marketing strategies, your attraction marketing strategies, your offerings, your mission statement, your vision statement, just being very clear about building that foundation, because that's the most important thing.
Right.
Not just focusing on the money, but really building that stable foundation that will help your business to thrive. So
when you're going through people's businesses and you're, you're evaluating them in this tear down process, what's the number one thing that jumps out at you when you're going through their social media, you're going to their website? What is the first thing you always see and you're like, oh, gotta make sure they fix that?
Yes. The first thing I always see is people don't really, I don't know what it is, the apprehension or whatever the fears are, but they don't promote their businesses like they really should. How do you expect for people to spend money with you or do business with you if they don't even know you really exist? Or just the inconsistency. You may post about a product or a service today, and then we don't hear about it or see about it until the next month, right? And we can pick up on that energy. If there's inconsistency, then now we're like, well, why would I want to do business with you? And you're not even confident about your own business, because if you were confident, you would show up every day.
Yes.
So that's one of the main things that I really get on, like, be consistent, promote yourself. You have to build that. So how I look at it as from a spiritual aspect, you got to build that energy.
Yes.
Right? Yes. So every time you show up, law of attention says what you focus on expands. So every time you post, you're giving your business attention. So after a while, after it aggregates to a certain point, that's when you experience the expansion.
I love it. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a major healer, y'all. Wow. Okay. So, right. So, because that's like a whole word. I have to process it myself because it's so true as far as the law of attention. And there's one thing about it that I've seen myself is like, once you put a certain amount of energy into something with consistency, then all of a sudden you start that momentum builds, and now you start to see things rolling in and coming in, and this is working out, and that's happening, and this is happening. Right. And of course, all those things present new challenges and new, I would say challenges for you to work through and figure out for sure. Right. But I definitely agree with you on that consistency piece, which is challenging for us. I think as creators sometimes, which most business people I find are creative in some way. I think that yeah, we tend to sometimes be reclusive and a little shy when it comes to self-promotion, and maybe we don't want to sound like we're pretentious or bragging, but you do have to big yourself up. If you don't, who will? You know what I mean?
You just have to develop that confidence. You have to be confident, and that's why doing your shadow work and having those self-care moments and days and times is so important, because you can't look at it as you're selling. You have to look at it as, I'm bringing value to the market.
That's it.
I'm bringing value to the market.
Absolutely.
And I'm here whenever you have this need for what I have.
Got it.
You know, but you have to show up, because the marketplace is so crowded. Social media is so noisy and crowded. And now someone has to see something at least 20 times before they even pay attention.
Come on.
So, you know, when you know that,
Yeah.
it makes it a little easier to just show up.
And not take it personally when they don't pay attention the first 19 times.
Exactly.
It's not personal.
It's not personal, yeah, because we develop what you call banner blindness. Because not only do we have people showing up and promoting their products, the ones that do, we also have all of these ads that's showing up as well. So over time, our brain, to protect us from the overwhelm and the overload, we tend to kind of block out what we're seeing.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to be consistent and not just always. So for instance, for me, you'll probably notice that I don't promote my services often, but I still promote myself through my content.
Absolutely.
I'm teaching through my content. So by me consistently and always teaching, I get people that reach out to me and ask me about my services.
Absolutely.
So that's the attraction marketing piece that I teach.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I've, as a business owner, and you know, with my time with you, and just this last, I would say maybe year or so myself, I've really learned, just like I said, by watching and paying attention to how adding value, it changes the entire
really
trajectory of
does.
your business.
It really does.
And so basically it's like you become an expert, you become a teacher, you become the lead in your industry or your brand just by teaching, and you taught me that. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
at that point, now you really are providing a service. You know, anytime that you share, but providing that value is where you get the trust from your consumers and from your base. Now they trust you.
Right.
Now you can be free. You can be open with them without that worry that you're bothering them or you're pestering them, because you're not. You're teaching. You're educating, and I feel like that's where that value comes in. Now I really want to shop with you because you gave me so much value for free. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so I strive to do that as a business owner, and I know that's one of the principles that you teach.
Yeah.
I definitely. This is not the first time that you've joined us. This is my second time, of course, but I just have to say one more time just how monumental it always is when we get together.
Absolutely, yes.
And how invaluable the lessons and just your perspective on business and life is so dope.
Thank you.
So I just have to thank you again for coming and joining
Thank
us.
you for having me.
Yes, and we're looking. Of course, I'm sure this won't be the last time we see you on Roots and Revenue. So thank you so much, Lavette. Tell us, where can we find you? How can we follow you? And how can they get in touch with the Brand Alchemist?
Well, you can connect with me on Facebook. I'm more so on Facebook. You can also connect with me on Instagram if you like, at Lavette_Minn. Facebook, of course, it's Lavette Minn. My website is Blue Diamond Brands, and that's Brands, BRANDZ.
Yes.
BlueDiamondBrands.com. You can also visit the Brand Alchemist, and Alchemist is spelled with a K instead of a C. And you can connect with me through those different outlets.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, please do that, you guys. You won't regret it. If you're thinking about starting a business, if you have a business, run, don't walk. Run, don't walk to this young lady right here.
Thank you.
And if you're even thinking about starting a business, follow her. As for me,
yes,
you already know you can find me on the Energy Talks Network. And of course, I'm Sarafina Ethereal on Facebook and Sarah Ethereal on Instagram, which, I kind of Instagram. I be Instagramming sometimes.
I be Instagramming sometimes too, yeah.
But you guys link up with us, and just want to say thank you for tuning in to the Roots and Revenue Show.
Yes.
I don't know where I should be looking. Here at you. Let me see here. All right, you guys. Just want to say thank you for tuning in to the Roots and Revenue Show. We're so happy to have you, and we will be back with more awesome content before you know it. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Oh, unpredictable. You never really know. Caught myself feeling this bad. I lie awake at night as tears fell from my eyes. So many feelings, so much pain. It's amazing we're alive. It's incredible we've survived, y'all. Only constant in life is change. There's no use in wondering why. Let's make the most of our time. Wrote this for freedom, not the